And I am going to mute everyone so it's quieter. Morning, Ed. How you doing? Well, good morning. This is Monday, May 17th. Oh, so Friday. Thank you. You know, honestly, my experience leading this course is so much energy is pouring through me that I'm just missing little things here and there. And I mean, but filled with energy, filled with presence is like incredible. It's just a gift. And I just, you know, I avoided this for 5 years. About 5 years ago, I had this experience where, wait, before I get there, I should say this is Friday, May 17th, 2019, Healing the Heart of America, and our topic today is racism, healing the wounds in the heart of America. But as I was saying, about 5 years ago, I had this experience. I was doing a lot of heart-centered meditation. I was taking this 2-year program called IMU, part of the School of the Heart called I Am Heart. You just explore all the dimensions, you know, and all these things about the heart. It's really incredible. And at one point, my heart opened up, and all the pain and the depth of the heart of America poured into me. And I sat with it for about 10 minutes, tears pouring out, and finally I said, I can't handle this, and cut it off. Now, one nice thing to know is, and I'm going to say this to everyone because some of the stuff gets deep before we go here, you can always say no without shame, and we have the authority to say no. We're not going to deal with this right now. It's not right for us to deal with it. So always feel that, and whatever comes up, you just work with what comes up. There's no shame, although I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't stay with that energy longer, because now I look back at it and I say, oh, how much more could I have transmuted, transformed? And you know, I was very clear, I became very clear that this was a message from the divine, that, because I never thought about it, I never addressed it, never considered it, that there are these deep pools of energy in the subconscious of America, the heart of America, that are causing the great schisms we have in our country right now, and that it's possible for us to address them. But it took me 5 years to finally get around to doing it. You know, I'd say, oh, I should do this, and go, well, I'll wait. Yeah, I'll let this show up. I had an experience years earlier. A great teacher, you know, I'd had all these readings about what my life was going to look like, and, you know, it hit all the glory points. Okay, it hit all the glory points for anyone on the spiritual path, and I totally panicked because I wasn't ready for that. And I went to Zamachi. I went to her and I said, I've had these 5 readings that said this, and this is going to happen. And I looked at her and I said, I look at what you have, and I don't want anything like that. Because, you know, everybody just mobs Zamachi. They just all want her. They all want her. I go, I don't want this at all. Now, the translator fell over laughing. Well, and what happened is, you know, Amashi said, she gave me very good advice. The only week, by the way, the only way I'd come to peace, because what had happened is I went to egomania about these readings, you know, saving the world, this, and this, and then I'd collapse into despair, because, like, who am I? Not me, right? But finally, where I got to, I came to the point where I just said, this is driving me crazy. I was going up and down. I said, this is either going to happen or it's not going to happen. With that, I was peaceful. So I tell this story to Amashi about these readings, and I say, what should I do? And she says, it's either going to happen or it's not. And look, you know, we all know readings are readings, right? They're sometimes wildly accurate and sometimes not so much. Okay, sometimes they're just the universe telling us what we want to hear. But she said, it's going to happen or it's not. She says, but don't try and make it happen. Really, really nice advice. You gave me a lot of peace with that. So this experience happened 5 years ago, and I go, whew, good thing I don't have to make this happen. But over time, it just keeps coming up and keeps coming up and keeps coming up. And suddenly, these two heart teachers I have, Peron and Susanna Bear, they just nudged me into it very gently. Said, just try it. And what's happened is I've stepped into, all I can say is I've stepped into my Dharma. And this energy is pouring into me. I'm so alive. I'm so awake. People do keep asking me, oh, can we meet? Can we talk? This. I don't mind it a bit. And I always thought I'd hate it. I was like, it's really interesting. I'm gonna say this because I know it's true for a lot of you, even though you may not have even thought about it. But I took this Myers-Briggs personality test about a year ago. Hal told me about it, and it said I'm an introvert. Now, I've been preaching for 18 years. I did this, and this, but it was so true. The litmus test on that questionnaire was, for whether introverted or extrovert, is when you go to a party, are you enlivened? Do you collect energy? Or do you get drained? Of course, I get drained. Drained. I was like, ugh, I don't want to go to a party. And people, Heidi, Stephen, come on over. She thrives on it. Grows on it. I was like, okay. And I bet a lot of you all are introverts also and just don't know it. It's a much wider definition than you think. Anyway, I'm talking and talking here, but really happy everyone's here. Happy everyone's on the phone. Amazed at, honestly, the turnout from this course. At this point, about 235 people have signed up for it. And usually we get 50, 60 people between the live audience and the phone, which is just fine. And I don't know how many people just listen to the recordings or what, but I'm just really encouraged for the health of the Heart of America. I'm really encouraged that so many people responded to this. And I don't have 235 people on my email list. It's not like I know these people. So welcome whoever doesn't know me. Welcome whoever does. One for each electoral vote. 235. That's very funny. Ooh, that's actually very deep, isn't it? That's actually very deep. So, could you all move into that place where you accept that by being on this course, we are all representing a huge part of America? And there's this very deep, yes, thank you. This is a very deep esoteric truth to this. So welcome and thank you all so much. So let's start by moving into our hearts. We always like to say hello to our hearts by putting our hands on our chest. Sit up straight if you can. And just take a moment. Maybe breathe into your heart. This great physical organ and this great subtle organ that is the center of our energetic body. And just check to see, can you feel your heartbeat? Or maybe you feel it pulsing through your fingertips. And could we allow ourselves to begin to see ourselves as energetic beings, heart-centered energetic beings? We all know there's infinite silence at the basis of creation. There's also infinite dynamism, or infinite energy. Would it be okay with us if we step into this extraordinary lineage of infinite energy, and allow our hearts to be the receptacle of that energy, the radiator of that energy. And go ahead, let's put your hands down and just notice what your state is right now. With just a little bit of connecting and welcoming the presence of our hearts does to us. Who do we become as we step into our hearts? As we begin this process of living from our hearts? And now let's begin the process of connecting the rhythm of our heartbeat to the rhythm of our breathing. This process of heart rhythm meditation that connects us to the very rhythm of life. The first thing that I discovered was this connection to the pulse that I never knew I had. The cerebrospinal fluid being pumped up and down the spine into the brain. And then, of course, we begin connecting to the pulse of the earth. We begin by simply sitting up and watching our breathing, watching our breath. Our breath is a great friend. If I can add a story from the Ramayana, this great story of Ram and Sita. Ram representing divine order, good government. Sita representing the heart. It's the great Hanuman, the monkey philosopher, warrior, healer, devotee of Ram and Sita. He's the son of Vayu, the wind god. He represents the breath. He is the one responsible for uniting Ram and Sita, the mind and the heart. Could we allow our breath to do the same thing? And now let's begin to breathe in fully and exhale fully. When we exhale, pull the abdominal muscles all the way back to the spine as far as it's comfortable. And notice how freely we inhale. And just notice, if we begin to feel the prana, the energy, the chi, whatever we want to call it, the life force that comes from very full and conscious breathing. And at a certain point, allow your attention to move into your heart and just notice your heartbeat and begin to connect the rhythm of our breathing with the rhythm of our heartbeat. Typically that's 6 or 8 inhalations 6 or 8 heartbeats per inhalation, 6 or 8 heartbeats as we exhale. But whatever is right for you. We are the masters. We refer within and find what's right for us. And if you can't feel your heartbeat, it'll come, don't worry. A couple of things you can do is you can hold your breath till you feel it. It'll show up. Or simply put your fingers on your pulse, on your wrist or neck. And every day we add some additional application to this just to keep this fresh. Yesterday we started with the 5 elements, with the earth element. The earth element, we breathed in through the nose, bringing the energy of the earth up, exhaling down through the nose, energy down to the earth. Today let's explore the water element, the water breath. All these come out of the great Sufi tradition of Hazrat Inayat Khan, who first brought universal Sufism to the West, stripped it of all the Islamic customs, and just made it into a process of expanding and healing the heart. So the water breath, we inhale through the nose, and we sort of pull water up and down like it's been evaporated and is pouring down through us as a waterfall or as a rainfall. We fill our heart up with energy from above into our heart, and then we exhale through slightly opened lips. Inhale, pulling in water in through the crown, down into the heart, and exhale, blowing downward, wherever you want to direct that energy in your body, or wherever you want to direct that energy into the world. All the while keeping the connection of our heartbeat with our respiration. And just be easy. It takes a little bit to master it, but it comes. This is a very cooling breath. If you're ever overheated, it's a wonderful breath for that. It's a great breath to open the heart because it creates flow in our lives. Opens our heart, a great source of love, of openness, of generosity, of beauty, of harmony. All these qualities begin to develop as we make friends with this divine quality of water. These 5 elementals are not just, ideas from antiquity. They are, in the Vedic tradition, 5 of the 8 Prakritis. Mother Divine, Mother Nature. The 5 elements, mind, intellect, and ego, are responsible for creation. We want to become friends with these universal forces responsible for the creation of our bodies, of our planet, of our countries. And inhale, feel it in your heart. Wonderful to blow it into any part of your body that needs healing. And now let's collectively inhale this water and just exhale through the lips, blowing into this deep pool of energy all the pain of racism in our country. So now let's begin this process of exploring within our own hearts, our own wounds. First, we'll say whatever topic comes up for you. If racism doesn't resonate, it's not an issue. Whatever issue comes up, you are welcome to work with that. Take whatever prompting or questions we ask as questions for whatever topic you're working with. But what I would invite all of us to do now is ask if there's any sense of racism within us. Are we more likely to feel fear if we see some blacks coming towards us than whites? Do we react differently to blacks in the workplace? How do we feel about black culture? And just breathe into the heart. Whatever energy comes up, is it okay with us if we just love it? It's okay that we have this energy. We grew up in a country and a culture that has this energy. No great shame that we might have it, no matter how much we don't want to have it. Because I know consciously, none of us want to be a racist. I just know this. The deep desire of our hearts is to love. And what judgments do we have about blacks or about any ethnic group? What do we like about them? What do we dislike about them? What's different about them? Even saying the word them sounds racist, doesn't it? And with all of this, pull that energy up, whatever we like, whatever we dislike. Could we let that energy move into our hearts? And could we allow it to shift into some divine quality? Your choice. I'm going to go to universal unconditional love. Which would we prefer? To hold any subconscious judgments? Or would we prefer to greet everyone, white, black, brown, whatever, with unconditional love? It's such an obvious question. It's not a trick question. But it sets an intention for us. So pull up a situation where you might feel threatened by blacks or any other race. You know, I'll make one up. I'm walking on the streets in New York, and 4 or 5 black kids come by. I react more strongly than if 4 or 5 white kids came by. So pull up whatever picture you have where there may be some issue going on, some resistance, some not liking, some not feeling safe. And would it be okay with you if we pull up the energy from that picture into our hearts and just let that shift into unconditional love? Which would you rather experience when you see a person of color? Fear or love? It's an obvious choice. It's an obvious choice. So let's imagine we welcome up all this energy. We know it's there. It's in the culture. It's part of us. We pick it up from the culture every day. We welcome it up whenever we see it, whenever we feel it. And we just let it shift. And we begin living in our hearts. So that whoever shows up, whatever culture they are, whatever they look like, we are living in our hearts and greeting them with love. And just check. Is there any sense of resistance to this picture? Any sense of disbelief? Any sense of, yeah, it'd be nice, but it goes pretty deep? We all have our experiences. Could you welcome up any sense that this is not going to be so easy, and recognize that feelings like this are not gospel. They're just feelings. They're just feelings. It's just energy. And we are the masters of our energy. So let's go back to that picture, and again, walking down the street or whatever it is, maybe it's a crowd of blacks with Black Lives Matter chanting, angry, whatever it is for you. Would it be okay with us if we go back to that picture and again move into our hearts and simply love whoever's in front of us? And from here, let's go into the more cultural aspects of racism and invite the deep pools of energy in the culture that really hold down and institutionalize racism. It's just built into the fabric of our culture. And I'll throw out some of the facts so we can just feel them. But before we do that, let's ask the question, which would we rather have? 13% of our population, we're talking about the blacks today, 13% of our population disempowered, suppressed, and struggling to live? Or would we rather have a vibrant, alive, loving black culture sharing their gifts with the entire nation, completely loved and appreciated by the entire country? Take a look at two areas in America where blacks have really shined: entertainment and sports. Think of the gifts the black entertainers and athletes have brought to this country, to all of us. We love them. Imagine if they did the same, if we allowed them, if we encouraged them, if we helped them to bring the same kind of gifts to medicine, to business, to science, to art. We already know they do for music. Every field of life enriched by this part of society right now that is just pushed down. Can you welcome up a deep love for this picture and just say yes to this picture? We'd all prefer this. But check to see if there's any fear that comes up with this. A fear that, oh no, there's more competition. Oh no, they'll take my job. And just welcome up that energy. And is it okay with us if we pull that fear, that feeling, that concern into our hearts and allow the divine quality of resourcefulness to arise within us? Could we just know that we know that we know from the depths of our hearts we are all resourceful enough to welcome up the gifts of others, because ultimately we are all blessed by that. So right now, the whites, the Caucasians, are about 77% of the population and have about 90% of the wealth in this nation. The blacks are about 13% of the population and have about 2.5% of the wealth, 2.6% of the wealth. Could we just check to see how that makes us feel? You know, I get the energy of distraught and what can we do? That's just me. But whatever comes up for you, could you welcome that up into your heart and pour that energy into this vision of this part of our culture thriving and blessing all Americans? In terms of unemployment, blacks over the last 60 years, that's as far back as I read, have twice the rate of unemployment as whites do. That's in good times and that's in bad times. It's true right now. And you might say that's because they're not educated. But the truth is, college-educated blacks have twice the unemployment rate as college-educated whites. And of course, there's this subtle, mostly unconscious discrimination that goes on. The interviewer just isn't comfortable with that person's culture, doesn't know how well they'll fit in, and doesn't want to hire them. It happens on the very small levels. Would it be okay with us, and again, check to see, how do you feel about this? Welcome up that feeling. Pull it into your heart. And again, pour it into a vision of complete equality, complete love in the workplace for members of every race. And check to see if we have a judgment against those people who are hiring in a discriminatory manner. And just use your discrimination. Does that help them move on to the next level of love in their lives? It really doesn't. Could we collectively welcome up that judgment within us and let that shift into unconditional love and pour that love into everyone in this country that makes hiring decisions? In terms of education, I was just shocked when I was reading this. Black children at all ages, even nursery schools, are 3 times more likely to be suspended than white children, even for the same infractions, is what the studies show. Black kids are 18 times more likely than white kids to be charged as adults in the criminal justice system. How do you feel about this? Like this? Hate this? Disgust? Whatever comes up for you. Can you pull that energy into your heart and just pour love into these children? Pour love into our school system. Pour love into all these children that are charged as adults. And just check to see, because it's coming up in me right now, is this feeling like this is not enough. And whatever feeling, any limitation that you have, can you welcome it up? And just welcome up the feeling and offer it into the fire of love in our hearts. And could we allow the love that we offer to be magnified by the universal beings behind us, within us? That universal love pours into all of these situations. And my heart just said, that is enough. So we'll move in more on justice. We all know this. Blacks are 13% of the population, but 40% of the prison population. And I know the tendency is to think, but they're breaking the laws. So whatever judgment we have, can we pull that up and allow that to shift into compassion for the setup in our culture that creates that situation? All the ghettos that are just breeding crime. All the hopelessness. Can't get a job. What else am I going to do? Can you feel that despair? Can we welcome up that despair as one of the deep, deep pools in the underbelly of America? Can we welcome that up and again pour it in? Pour it into that culture and situation of all the ghettos, all the impoverished communities of blacks throughout the country. And again, could we invoke the divine beings to amplify this love, to allow it to become a tidal wave of love, to add brightness and possibility into the hearts of those who have been oppressed? And could we pour in even more love? And could we go to a place of gratitude? Really, what's coming up for me is gratitude for how peaceful the black community has been, given how badly they've been suppressed. How would I have reacted? There's a lot of deep, profound hearts in that black community. You see it in how everyone resonated with Martin Luther King. a great heart-centered being. And housing, of course, nationwide, 72% of whites own their own houses, 42% of blacks. Blacks are 30% more likely to be pulled over for a traffic violation than whites. So how would you feel always looking over your back if you were the one who was being targeted? You were the one afraid of police brutality. You were the one afraid of being shot. Can we put up all this fear and again be with it, love it, allow it to move into our heart? The fear does not solve the problem. Love solves the problem. When we can see with the eyes of our heart, everything changes. Is it okay with us if we pour love into all these police officers who are captives of their own conditioning? Could we pour even more love? Could we pour love into the bankers that for so many generations redlined the black communities and would not lend money for buying houses? Officially that's done, but apparently the reality is it's still the practical reality. So could we, again, whatever energy is coming up within us, whatever dislike, disgust, frustration, pull that into our hearts and let that flow into the bankers that make these decisions, that they might open their hearts and move to a place of absolute color blindness. And let's go back to this picture of a vibrant black culture profoundly offering gifts to America: science, health, psychology, medicine, physiology, military, whatever, already in the military. Could we welcome up this picture of how much wealth we will add to America if we embrace this part of our culture that we've been suppressing? How much wealth for all of us, on every aspect of wealth, not just money. And can we, again, put up this picture and love this picture? And move into a place in our heart of deep, deep faith, of conviction, of certainty, where we know that we know that we know it's time. It's time to fully integrate the black culture in America. And this will happen soon. And let's just sit with that for a moment. Pull our energies into our heart. Perhaps feel the soles of your feet to be grounded. And when it's comfortable, feel free to open your eyes. Now, this is the time this concludes the formal part of this program. All the rest is optional, and I know because I spoke so much in the beginning, we ran a little late. If anyone needs to leave, of course, I understand that. Anyone on the phone that has a comment or a question, or anyone here, or anyone who's stirred up and would like some help resolving those energies within them, please either unmute yourself, *6, and just say hello, or come up here, or you could just sit. That was a pretty loud. Good morning. Looks
Good
like
morning.
So I heard Peter first, and then Jean will go to you next. Peter Asherman.
Okay.
Peter Asherman. We know the Asherman family.
Yes, I'm in West Virginia.
Welcome very, very much. Your brother is here.
I want to thank you for this opportunity and my brother for introducing it, Eric Ashelman. I need to go to a yoga class now, so I'll bow out and I'll be continuing with you.
Thank you very much, Peter. Really a pleasure
Bye-bye.
to have you. All right, take care. Enjoy your yoga. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Jean.
Good morning. I released with you last week about my granddaughter.
Oh, yes.
About the bullying.
Yes.
There's been a shift. Definitely been a shift.
Wow.
So 2 kids have come around, maybe not be best friends, but this child has decided she wants to, she's upset these days, she wants to start her own charity. She's 9 years old. Next weekend, she wants to start her own charity, and she's disappointed that kids won't do it with her. But I already have some ideas what to do, so to help her along those lines.
That's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that update.
I think it's very cool because I thought, wow, and I know what to do to get other kids. I have some ideas, so. But I would like to release for me. I've been releasing for a long time. I started with Larry, then went with Tama, and now with Kate. Been through the different releasing. And but there's one thing I've noticed. Even though I've gotten lighter and lighter, I don't feel as if I'm grounded, and I don't feel like I could do structures like I used to. Many years ago, I lost my job, and I was in a really bad place physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And the spirituality's come back. Physicality, it's been challenging because I've had lots of challenges over the last, for 6 years.
So is your health that's bothering you right now? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it has. I've had a lot of injuries, but I think it had to do with a lot of death. But right now, I feel like if I'm not grounded, and as if I can't develop a structure for myself, if that makes sense. I unfortunately, I can't articulate what I really want, but it's something I always felt ever since I started releasing and lost my job. I felt like I just...
Jean, let's work with grounding, because everyone on the phone and everyone in this room has grounding issues. Not everyone, but...
It has what kind of issues?
Grounding issues.
Oh, okay.
All right, so right now you don't like that you're not grounded, right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yes.
It's very, feel as if you're in a free fall.
Yes. So can you feel that? And then this is for everyone here. If you have this feeling at all, if you ever get spacey or anything like this, or want to be more embodied.
Yes.
So the first question is, that feeling of of being in free fall. So that sounds like an out of control feeling, doesn't it?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so everybody check to see if you want more control in your life. This is a third chakra issue. It's tied into power. You can also say wanting power to change things, or just whatever it is in your life that you want to change. It doesn't have to be groundedness. And notice that wanting to control this doesn't give you any control over it, does it?
No.
No. So would it be okay with you if you just got in touch with that lacking wanting feeling?
Yes.
And pull it up into your heart?
Yes.
And is it okay with you if you shift that into presence?
Okay.
Okay, or is there some other quality you'd like to have instead of presence? Because usually when you're not grounded, you're not present.
I have a sense of anger now.
Okay, good. So can you feel the anger, the frustration?
Yeah.
Can you just be
It's
with
been
that?
very frustrating.
Yes, can you just be with that? And
Yeah.
does the frustration bring you to groundedness? Jane, does the frustration bring you to groundedness?
Oh, no.
Good,
Mm-mm.
good.
I was just thinking of what I was feeling.
Yeah, it's okay. So keep feeling
I
it.
was deep into it.
Keep feeling it. Keep feeling it.
Yeah. It's feeling uneasy right now, like in my stomach, my solar plexus.
Good. So all of that, so by the way, that's a shift from anger, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is. It's just,
yeah, I guess I didn't think about it.
You get that just by feeling these energies, how quickly they change.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's what we do. Okay?
Mhm.
And is it okay with everyone if we allow these energies to shift? And it's okay just
Yes.
to shift, or you can choose what quality of the heart you want to develop.
Mhm.
So, is it okay with you, Jean? We have a Jean here.
It's funny. My dad used to call me Jean Mayer.
Is it okay with you if you allow the attention to arise within your heart to be fully grounded?
Yes. Yes.
That's okay, isn't it? And so imagine you were walking through your world every day, connected to the earth, connected to the people around you. How does that feel? How does that feel to you?
It feels great.
Nice. And is it okay with you if every time you feel that you're not grounded, that you simply feel the feelings, pull the energy into your heart, and make this very simple intention? I choose to allow myself to be grounded here.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And how are you feeling right now?
How am I sitting? A little bit.
How are you feeling?
Kind of reclining a little bit.
I'm sorry. I couldn't say it again.
Reclining a little bit.
How are you feeling right now? How are you sitting?
Oh, feeling? I'm feeling really good.
Are you grounded?
Yes.
Ah. Okay. I'd call that a success then.
I would. I happen to think of something else that was that I also got from last week's session.
Jean?
Yes.
Let's do one at a time, okay?
Okay.
Because I want you to sit with that one and just totally get into the embodiment of that one, rather than the next one. Okay?
Okay.
Is that all right? We'll do that tomorrow maybe, or Monday, I should say?
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Heidi, so come on up here so the world can hear you. All right. So hi, Heidi. What's up?
Hi, Stephen. What came up for me is I feel ashamed of my white privilege.
Yes.
And it interfaces with every Black American that I meet, an apologetic, overcompensating, and I know that probably feels worse to them than the blatant discrimination that they expect. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows
I don't
what
know. But I just feel ashamed and guilty, and I feel like I don't know what to do.
Good. Anybody else in here feel guilt about white privilege? Yeah. Probably on the phone. I can't see them raising their hands on the phone, but here we are. We are the privileged class, and for the most part, middle class or upper middle class here. Very, very much. We're not. The people that are in the new age. To get really juicy and stir things up. We're not white trash. Ooh, how's that? We should release some white trash, shouldn't we? So, yes. We can say that because we're white, right? So Heidi, this feeling of guilt,
Shame.
Everyone else.
And shame.
And shame. Could you welcome up this feeling of guilt and shame? We all have it, okay? And notice that this is a cultural thing. It's in the culture now. And that doesn't make it bad or right or wrong. It's just an energy. But is this helping you to be more loving?
No.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
Right, everybody check with that. Does feeling guilt and shame cause us to be more loving? Or does it cause us to act hoping, wanting to please, wanting to atone for, right? It causes that. That's not a genuine action of the heart, is it?
Right, no.
Right. I mean, it's a step. But would it be okay with you, with everyone, if we welcome up this guilt and shame, move it into the heart? Where do you feel it, Heidi?
I feel it in my chest. In my heart.
Good. So keep pulling into the heart there. And is there a divine quality you'd like to shift this into?
I just would like to experience the divinity in all beings.
Yes. So oneness.
Yes.
Oneness, unity. So is it okay with us if we shift this energy into oneness, into unity? So Heidi, pull up a picture of where this might show up. Okay? You got that picture?
I do.
Everybody have a picture where does it show up? And feel the discomfort, feel the guilt, feel the shame. And again, pull it into the heart, or just be with it. Whatever works for you guys. Feel the feeling and allow it to shift into the oneness of love, the divine harmony. And the person or situation you're thinking about, would they prefer as you greet them with guilt and shame? Or would they prefer that we greet them with unconditional love? Pretty clearly, right? Everyone wants to be loved. And are we loving when we're functioning from guilt and shame? And we're not really, are we? No. Okay, so could we pull up that guilt and shame some more? And can we pull it up for the entire culture? You all know the triangle of the victim, persecutor, and rescuer. Can you see that with the blacks and whites in America? We want to go into rescue mode, and it just doesn't work. It brings up the persecutor. It works for a little bit, and then no, it doesn't work. What destroys that triangle is love. vulnerability. Let's ask this question differently. Would it be okay with us if we approached the black community, and speaking as a culture or our own individual lives, with vulnerability, with a willingness to absorb and receive the pain and hatred and frustration of the blacks? It's a big ask. I know it is. Right. It's a big ask. It's very scary, so pull up the fear. And just breathe into it, pull into the heart, let it go. Could we be vulnerable? And could we just respond with love? Now, I know many of us have had the experience over the years through the release technique. It doesn't matter if you haven't, this does not, but someone's very angry at us and we just start saying silently, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it forces the other person to rise up into their loving state, or they leave. You've had that, right, Heidi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Is it okay with us if we welcome the pain and the frustration and the anger of the black community and respond with love? And more love. And we all know it may be painful to feel that energy for a while. But eventually, and very quickly it happens, they will move into love. That wound will be healed. Because hating anger is hard work. It's just hard work. It's no fun. And eventually it just shifts. And is it okay if in this group here, present physically on the phone, if we step into this role for the collective and say, yes, we will receive this energy and transform it? Can you just say yes to that? And if there's resistance, pull up the resistance. Let that go. How are you feeling with that, Heidi?
That feels good.
And how much guilt and shame are you feeling right now?
I'm not. I'm able to love. I was really afraid of that, loving their anger.
Yes.
Or experiencing it, welcoming it.
Yes.
But when I started loving it, the shame fell away. As well as the fear of being killed.
Yeah.
You know, just loving it.
Okay. So that's a pretty clear experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good work. Thank you. So it's now 5 after 10. I'm willing to stay much longer, but 10 o'clock is sort of the scheduled time to end this course. I forget what the topic is on Monday, but I'll send out a reminder. And anyone else on the phones or here in the room?
I am. This is Patsy.
Patsy, welcome.
Yes, thank you. The energy, I'm kind of shaking here a little bit because my experience of the black community and some of the things that came up in this call today was not my experience. I lived as a young woman when desegregation happened and all the violence and it was a terrible, terrible time in this country that needed to happen. In my experience today, having a black son-in-law, having closeness with his family and other, over the years, black people, what is being propagated in this country today, I think a lot of it, not denying inner city and what's going on there, I'm not denying that, but that's not what I'm hearing from the black community. And certainly my son-in-law doesn't feel that way, nor does his father at a time when you would have thought all that discrimination was going on. It wasn't going on. So I think the black community today is being manipulated and used politically in a way that's really offensive, and I don't think that was addressed.
How do you feel about that, Patsy?
It makes me angry, and black people are speaking up about it, but it's not getting out into the culture.
Patsy, you.
I'm angry. I'm angry that people are being used that way. Yeah.
That's just where we want to go here, okay?
Yeah.
So can you welcome up that anger?
Yes, it's right there. It's right there.
And does that anger change the situation?
No, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, but it's moving. It's moving. Thank you.
Good. So can you pull that anger up into your heart, or just be with it?
Yes.
Yes. And can you welcome it up some more? And everyone else who has an issue with the media, imagine that.
I hope we do a whole call on that.
There's so many topics. I couldn't believe how many topics came up when I started making out the list.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That's a big one. So, but for right now, because we can deal with it right now.
Yeah. Oh, my heart is just pounding.
Your heart is just pounding. Good. So, could you be with that?
Yes.
And let's all welcome any judgments we have about the media.
Thank you.
And is judging the media changing the media?
No.
No, it has not. It does not.
No. Mm-mm.
So could we welcome at that judgment some more? All that not liking of this, we can all make it up. The media creates these problems everywhere. So can we just welcome up this frustration, dislike, all that? And what would you like this to shift into, Patsy?
I would really like it to shift into all of us as part of this wholeness, even on our own, that we look for ourselves instead of just buying into what we're being told.
Okay, so let's shift this into the experience of wholeness.
Yes.
Good. So could you allow all this energy to fuel this quality of wholeness within you?
Yes.
And could you allow even more wholeness?
Yes, yeah.
I hear this in your voice. So from this place of wholeness, could you look at the media and understand and see they are part of this wholeness?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So is it okay with us if we extend our harmony and love to the media?
No. It's a little struggle there.
Good. That's perfect.
A little resistance. Yeah. Yeah. To manipulate, use people that way.
Gotcha. So we still have some disapproval of them.
Yes.
Yeah. The crowd here is joining in with you, Patsy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How about the 6 people that own all the media?
What did she say? I couldn't.
I'm upset about the 6 people that own all the media.
Thank you. Yes, the truth that's coming out.
And a Jew down the crowd said it must be the Jews.
I know it's.
Right,
but use it to manipulate people and make us hate each other is
yes.
I think that's discriminatory.
So you are like the perfect person for this, Patsy. It's up for you.
With a black son-in-law, this is not their experience. What you described was not their experience.
We're not going to stories here. We're going to.
Oh, okay.
We're going to.
So thank you.
Yes. So
the anger, yeah.
Yeah. So back to all this judgment of the media and the resistance to loving them. So would you rather hate them? Or would you rather love them? The media.
Right now, it feels better not liking them.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So could you welcome up that not
I feel like by doing that, I'm supporting them.
Yes. Oh, that one comes up a lot. Okay, and is that true?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, good. So, good. So welcome up all these feelings. Welcome all of them up. They're very valid feelings. We all have them. And just be with them. Is it okay with you?
And the feeling, Steve, of helplessness.
Yes.
That powerlessness.
That powerlessness. Can you welcome up these feelings and just be with them? And be with them some more. Now, everybody on the phone is still here. We all have these feelings. Welcome them up. Powerlessness, helpless. The media is bigger than we are. Right, Patsy?
Yeah, that's how it feels.
That's how it feels. I get it. So all these feelings, they're just feelings, right?
Yeah.
They're just feelings. And would you feel better holding on to these feelings or letting them go?
Letting them go.
Yes.
They're arising. I didn't, thank you for working with me.
Yeah, they're in there. I know. It's when you don't want to work that the best stuff comes up. So can you welcome up these feelings, this energy?
Yes. That hatred is so deep.
Yes. And can you allow yourself to be the vehicle that pulls up the energy in the heart of America to be healed? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
That feeling that I'm being used.
Yes.
I hate it.
So pull it up some more. All this hatred, all this, frustration with the manipulation, the powerlessness. Now, can you do me a favor, Patsy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This big pool of hatred and frustration that keeps rising up within you. Would it be okay with you if you dove into that pool of energy?
Yes, because it's sitting right in my heart.
Yes. Could dive deep within it. And go deeper inside of it.
I can feel resistance to that, Steve.
That's okay. Can you feel the resistance? Just be with it.
Yes.
It's a deep experience. It's a new experience. It's not a surprise there's resistance. Could you give yourself some love and approval for your courage here?
Yes.
Yes. And could you dive even deeper into that pool of hatred, frustration, and powerlessness?
Yes.
Yes.
The sadness.
Sadness.
Oh.
Good.
Oh, boy.
Yes. And could you go even deeper into it? With just feelings, right?
Yes.
Could you allow yourself to be bigger than your feelings?
Yes, but I don't want to rise above it, which I think I've been doing.
No, you're not doing. Well, you're diving into them. You're definitely not rising above them.
Okay.
Okay? But it helps you to recognize what a profound spiritual being you are, so much bigger than this energy. Okay?
But that's where I felt I was lacking, that the spirituality wasn't there.
No, you're born with it. It's your very nature.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So is it okay if you move into that, just expand your heart, expand your beingness, if you will.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay? Could you allow yourself to get bigger still?
Yeah.
And bigger still.
Yeah.
And bigger still.
Yes.
And from this vastness that you are, how big is this energy?
It's beyond my body. It's beyond.
So that's who you are. How big is this energy of frustration and powerlessness and hopelessness?
It's still there, but not like it was.
Right. How big is it, though, from this expanded place? Is it big or is it small? Compared to who you are now.
Let me look. I'm just looking. It's shrinking.
Good. Is it okay with you, from this expanded place, you just look at it and just gently brush it away? It doesn't have to be that.
Yes.
Yes. You go back to this pool that you just brushed away. Is it still there?
There's still some darkness there. Yeah.
So could you dive into that? And where I want you to go is to the other side of that.
It's a darkness that's a scary place.
Yes. And think about how big you are, how courageous you are. And could you go through that darkness and tell me what's behind it?
There's nothing there.
Right. Nothing at all.
No, nothing.
Okay. So all
it's like
it is,
an empty space.
Yes, another vast empty space. Is it okay with you if you realize it's just a collection of energy and it's finite? Right? Because you can go through
and
it.
It's what did
And it's finite.
I see it as a...
Right. It's got a... In other words, it's not infinite. You are big enough to see it and experience it as a finite pool. You can go through it all the way and find out there's nothing behind it.
Yes.
So would it be okay with you if you looked at the media the same way and realized that energetically you're bigger than the media? Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, I'm seeing it differently, experiencing it differently.
Yeah. And is it okay with you?
There's nothing there. There's nothing. It's nothing.
Nothing there. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
It's so great. Nothing.
It's a no thing.
It's a no thing. Yeah. And all of your resistance to the media, the hatred, the frustration, the powerlessness, where is that now? Is it gone, or is it still?
I'm just looking.
Look really hard. You want to make sure you find it.
There's still some there, and I see it as directed at myself for buying into it.
Wow.
The disapproval of myself, or
good. Could you let
seeing how I allowed it to even impact my family.
Yeah. So could you let that go?
The disapproval, yeah.
Yeah. Just let that go. You don't need that anymore.
No.
No. Nancy, I think you're in a wonderful spot right now.
Yeah, my heart just opened. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You brought us all here, and I thank you for that work. Really, really nice.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to call this a day. I'm going to unmute everybody if I can pull that off. There we go. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys are great. It's so great you're doing it.
So are you.
Thank you to everyone who participated today. Thank you.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
All right, my friends. Many blessings to everyone.
Thanks for the love.
Yes.